The following podcast is a B&E Network exclusive.
Hi, and welcome to a new episode of 2 versus 3. I'm Kyle. This is Cody.
Hey.
And Greg.
Yo.
We're sitting in a brand new studio, so if it sounds a little bit weird to you, it's because we're still working some shit out. But,
Or hopefully it sounds awesome to you.
I was going to say, if by weird you mean professional.
Well, it looks professional, but right now it might sound like shit. We don't really know.
It looks professional.
Yeah, it's better, right? We're all about the looks.
But yeah, we started this podcast just using one little USB snowball
we
microphone.
started it on a phone.
Yeah.
Drunk as hell in a room. And we upgraded one step, and now this is a bigger step.
Yeah, now we're on episode 13.
Is that what the actual one? It's good that you knew because I never do.
Yeah, it's become a thing.
Yeah, that's why I just started saying it's a new episode. It's better.
Yeah, anyways, what have you guys been up to this week?
I had one hell of a fucking week. I don't even know if I should go first.
No, do it. Let it out.
Well, I say I've had one hell of a week. It's Tuesday. So I'd have one hell of a Monday. Started with, I fucking woke up, had to go to work early. Doesn't start the day off good when you do that. And then I broke my cell phone. Went it was old. Whatever. Drive home to get like a spare.
What do you mean you
cell.
broke it? Like it just
It just stopped turning on. It started just turning on and off on its own and then just never turned back on again.
See, everyone always assumes that their phone breaks, but what's more likely
His eye broke.
is ghosts.
Oh, it's probably ghosts. Yeah, that's more like.
Yeah.
So anyway, it broke, and I go home to get like an old shitty spare one I have. Doesn't work. Waste all my lunch break. Didn't eat lunch, and I'm like, I'm mad. Like I'm really mad. Hop in my car, drive back to work. Get to an intersection, turning left. This dude on a bicycle. I just glimpse him, just see him with just fear in his eyes. That's all I see for a split second, and I hopped on the gas pretty hard to try and get through the intersection, like turn through it all the way because he was like flying at me head on. He turned the same way as me and jumped a curb, and then just crashed right into the side of me, like
Like a bicycle or
yeah, bicycle, like with the pedal, but no brakes on it. All I heard was thud and like he was. That'll be good for the waveform. But yeah, he was fucked up, and
You fucked him up bad?
I didn't hit him. He hit me. Like he hit the side of me. He had no brakes and he ran a red light. Like it was on him.
Okay. Did the police come?
Yeah. Just coincidentally going to get some. It was right in front of Tim Hortons, so you only have to wait a couple seconds and then a cop shows up.
Yeah, we're from Canada, folks.
Anyway, like I pull off the road and like I help him up, like pick him up, and he's immediately like apologetic to me. Like I was like gonna say, like, I'm sorry, man. Like I tried to get out of the way, and he was like, no, it's my fault. My brake.
The very Canadian thing.
Yeah, I apologize.
You're both apologizing to each other on the side of the road.
I apologize. Like and then he's like, no, it's my fault. It's my fault. It's my fault. I didn't have brakes on my bike.
How
I
old
couldn't
is
get
this guy?
stopped. Older than me. He didn't. I mean. Didn't look like he had a whole lot of money. I mean, he didn't have brakes on his bike.
That's what I'm wondering. It's like at first was
I don't want to pass judgment on him, but he looked like he might be like, down on his luck.
Well, when you said that, like no brakes on his bike, I thought that might have been like some fancy.
That's what I was thinking. Like,
no, it was just a beat up bike, and it was like too small for him. It looked like he stole a toddler's bike that didn't have brakes, or it might have, and it was just meant for a much smaller human being. But anyway, he fucked my car up pretty good.
Yeah,
absolutely correct side.
Yeah, he showed me.
I was lucky that
I haven't seen it. What happened? Like dent in the side or something?
Yeah, the quarter panel has like a man-sized dent in the back.
A man-sized dent.
And then his handlebar on the one side dug like right into my door.
Yeah,
and scratched the crap out of it.
I was confused at the distance between the one scratch and the giant dent, but no, that makes more sense. Like your body hits here and the bike hits there.
Yeah, I think it was like his handlebars hit in one spot and his body just slammed into the back of the car. I felt bad for him, but I mean, cop came by and talked to him and then literally just kind of looked at me and was like, meh, shrugged his shoulders and waved me on my way.
That's awesome.
Next to dentists, like, I'm really against people riding bicycles. Yeah.
You're against bicycles?
Bicycles and dentists.
Those are two fucking weird things to be against.
Yeah, what the fuck do you even mean by that?
Why bike? Okay, let's start with
people
bicycles.
just like bicycles.
Yeah, we'll start with bicycles.
They're dangerous. They're always in the way. They like try to follow the rules of the road, but that just puts them even more in harm's way when all of a sudden you're driving along and you just have to reduce speed dramatically because there's a fucking guy on a bicycle next to you that really is treating himself like a car in the middle of the traffic, but going half the speed.
I have a bigger problem with the e-bikes, like
those are fucking
fake motorcycles that people don't have licenses to.
I like seeing the old timers riding them, and they look like they're still rocking the glory days.
Why do you guys have a problem with these?
The e-bike thing. I didn't have a problem with regular bicycles. And
I don't have a problem. But why do you have a problem with e-bikes?
Well, no, I just have a problem with shitty drunks who lost their driver's license and now they drive e-bikes hammered. That's the problem I have.
Do you come across people that like drive them really shittily?
Yeah, and you can tell, like, you see them. There's a high fluctuation leaving the beer store. Those fucking things, and you know, like someone is like, they don't give a shit because it's just considered a bicycle. They think they can drive it while they're 3 sheets to the wind, and then they're still on the road with you, and they don't have helmets on half the time, or like they're not in the.
And you look like fucking Jim Carrey from Dumb and Dumber. But he had like the leather jacket on with like the little tassels. I don't know. That's what I kind of thought of. And now he looks like Blue from Old School, like an old, like he was old as shit, like a white wizard beard. Like, and it just looked like he was riding the shit out of that e-bike. Like I didn't hate that guy. I thought he was fucking killing it, like reliving his glory days for sure.
But all right, like you've never. Like, if you lived in a city, would you ride a bike? I just realized I was not talking to my own fucking mic. I gotta get used to that.
No, I think I don't know. I'd be down for public transportation, like taxis.
That's not public. I guess it kind of is.
I don't like buses
I take
either.
way too many fucking cabs these days, man.
Yeah, neither one of you guys really rides the bus.
I think I gotta try out Uber, man.
Yeah?
Is it actually that much cheaper? Because you use it fairly often.
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper. You don't have to tip them. You don't tip them.
Yeah, but I tip. I would tip.
It all goes through your credit card. So, like, unless you're literally carrying change in your pocket, you're going to tip them with. You're not going to tip them.
Yeah, but is there not an option to add
You
the
can,
tip?
but, like, I've taught, like, it's not, like, you obviously they're not going to be like, oh, don't tip me. And I've tipped a guy, but, you know, like, it's not as, like,
do you think they have, like, an
Uber? What they really want is a good rating.
I was going to say, you rate the drivers, right?
Yeah.
So do you think that afterwards, like you have an account, right?
Yeah, they can rate me.
So I mean, fucking
I
constantly, Kyle's just like,
like
they're like, yeah, it's okay, don't tip. They're just dropping your rate.
I've asked them. Like, I made a point. Like, I'd heard that, and I was like, one of the first ones I took, I was like, do you guys get tips? And the guy was like, usually if it's like a holiday. If it was like, I did it on New Year's, and he was like, I get tips then. But the thing about Uber is, like, if you take it on a holiday, their like rates are cranked up and they make a bunch of money.
Yeah, I heard on New Year's it was like fucking outrageous what they were charging people. Like $100 just across Kingston.
But that's like their prerogative, you know? Like they can.
Yeah, I think it is.
No one has to pay it. I mean, and that's as much as you want to say you hate capitalism. At the same time, if I can afford it and I'm allowed to pay for whatever the fuck I want, then I should be allowed to.
But yeah, like.
I know taxis, like, yeah.
Well, you take it often, Kyle. How much does it cost you to Uber from here to your place? Because in a cab it would cost like I don't know, $6.
So it cost me about $6 from here to my place on an Uber, but that's only because the pickup charge, like the starting rate, like the bare minimum, is about $4 or $3.
Okay, so it's worth it to use them for longer trips?
Yeah, so like it's a little bit like if I take it and I'm say I was going like a couple blocks further, then it's still only like $6. Like I've taken it probably twice the distance from here to my house, and it still only cost me that much. It's really just that initial hit and then the tax. So you're already almost at $6 just from that.
Either way, I should be like the guy that ran into you and just buy a bicycle.
Well, get one with brakes.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Man, so many cab drivers that I have, because yeah, you're right, I do cab a lot. All they talk about is how an Uber driver is going to rape me if I were to take an
rape
Uber.
You? Not rate you.
No, rape.
Yeah,
rape.
They all like to push that because they say there's no background checks and stuff like that, but there is. So it's just like a thing taxi cab drivers like to say. I don't really give a fuck either way. You're getting in a cab with a stranger. The only difference is one of them is old beat-ass up cabs that have been on the road forever, and Ubers are like brand new cars almost all the time.
They all look like a graphic
and they're
designers.
really clean.
Yeah, you probably have
and the people are really nice.
just as good of a chance of getting raped from a Kingston cab driver and then an Uber driver, you know?
I don't know. Those guys are like the toughest guys in Kingston.
That's why they have a good chance of raping you.
And cab drivers get robbed all the time. That's a big problem here.
Not around here.
No,
They do actually.
all the time. And you can't
'Cause we
rob
live
an
in the
Uber driver
ghetto.
unless you're going to take a cell phone.
Well, no, the whole fear behind that it's ridiculous. Like being scared. Like if you're scared to hop in a cab, then you're probably scared to walk down the street downtown, you know?
Yeah, people are dumb.
All right, so why do you hate dentists?
Well, they're just not. They're not real doctors, first off, and they like to pretend that they are. Kind of like we like to pretend that we legitimately run a podcast. We're like the dentists of podcasts.
Wait, are you saying our podcast is some kind of conspiracy?
Yeah, man.
Are you saying dentists are a conspiracy?
I didn't even have to. I didn't even suggest that, and he immediately was just like, he knows about the dentist conspiracy. And yes, I also have an agenda.
I hate dentists too. Surprise. They suck.
No, they just liars.
I've been to one in forever.
They're liars.
Yeah, it's been so long for me.
I've been to the
It's
dentist.
really bad.
We have free
I go
healthcare
often.
here, but we don't get dentists for free. So fuck
Okay, see, no,
that.
but that's what I
don't go.
mean. If there was a fucking dentist at the hospital and you went to the hospital to get your teeth fixed, that would make sense to me. I would trust that guy. But when you have to go to like some really souped up clinic that is just completely unnecessary, like there's waterfalls in the fucking.
Yeah,
what
when
I
I was a
mean? You
kid, they
take
had like
umbrance with the
arcade games
waterfalls?
and shit.
No, you just walk into the dentist office and there's like a Hummer out front that's just like fucking dick shit, fucking dentistry, and then there's just a waterfall inside.
I got my braces at dick shit.
Did you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. They're just. I don't trust those guys, and like they're just always trying to sell you shit, and yeah, no, they're fucking like bicycles. You just don't need them.
Fair enough. All right, I guess. Sure. What have you guys been up to this week?
I want to tell you some exciting story, but I've just been so busy with work lately. I started playing another game. I'm kind of addicted to buying games on the PlayStation Network.
I know. Every
That
day
happens to
I
everybody,
get the
man.
notifications. This is my account, so I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty often.
Yeah, the new one I got now is Day of the Tentacle.
Oh
The
yeah.
old LucasArts
Did you play it
game.
back in the day?
Yeah, it's like super nostalgic for me. Because yeah, my dad
What's
got
it called?
Day of the Tentacle. My dad got a LucasArts box set back in the day. It had like Indiana Jones, a Star Wars game, and it had this random like puzzle cartoon game.
I've never
And
heard of
it's
Maniac Mansion. Did it have that?
that was the original.
Yeah.
So there's a way to play that game in Day of the Tentacle,
yeah.
which I haven't done yet, and I want to try it after I beat it. But fuck, I played that game when I was a kid, and I beat it, but I'm having difficulty with it now.
Well, there's weird like those games are just like time-consuming logic where you just eventually hit a puzzle where you have to just like take everything in your inventory and like hover over the thing you want to solve. It's like, oh, is it the knife that does it? No.
Exactly.
No, is it the rope? No, it's not the rope.
Yeah, you have to be very patient. And as a kid, I can definitely understand how I would just explore it and explore
You
it.
just brute force
I
everything,
would just
right?
play the game, you
Yeah.
know?
I've never actually gotten into any of those, like any of the old LucasArts games.
Well, yeah. Well, the idea of remastering old games is brilliant to me because it's such a simple concept, and I would love to play some of those old classics that and just make it look better, like they're going to do with Final Fantasy VII, which I think is awesome.
Well, yeah, but with Final Fantasy, they're gonna change quite a bit. Do you like?
Are
what
they
do you think's
changing
better?
gameplay in 7?
Yeah, gameplay's completely changed. It's coming out episodically in 3 parts. Well, assumed 3 parts. It'll be more like assuming like Final Fantasy 15's gameplay than it is of like what Final Fantasy 7 was like. They're completely remaking everything. It won't look like it did before with the pre-rendered backgrounds and the 3D polygons.
Yeah, so you're kind of sounding negative about it.
No, I think it'll be really awesome. As someone who didn't really give a shit about Final Fantasy 7 back in the day,
See,
I'd rather have it just completely redone.
I'll be
and
honest. I've
modernized.
never played 7. I love Final Fantasy, but I never played 7. I started on 8 as a kid.
I never played any Final Fantasy.
Damn.
I've played them.
They're
but
some
I never,
of my
like,
favorite
got
video
into them.
games. And as someone who enjoys Pokemon and like other RPGs, I'm surprised you don't like
I was
it.
gonna say I didn't beat Final Fantasy VII, but like I played a good chunk of it, and I was gonna compare it to like kind of like Pokemon, where it's like I don't want to say freeze frame, but it's like it's definitely turn based.
It's a turn-based RPG.
You know, and like you got time to choose. good.
I think it was like
It was
kind of
confusing,
people's
though.
first RPG.
Yeah, it
right?
was confusing.
Like
Like, it was
that at
over my.
Pokemon.
It was well over my head at the time.
Well, the style of fighting has definitely changed over the years, and especially in the new demo for is it 15?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fuck, that was strange.
I didn't like that demo. I think.
Yeah, you were kind of obsessed with it a little.
I think
Well,
You're talking about it a lot.
Yeah, no, it had all my favorite elements of a game. Like for one, it was easy. It was beautiful. Like it was fantastical. Like none of it had to make sense.
You use that word a lot. Fantastic.
No, just to describe that
word?
game though.
Yeah, exactly.
Like no, because that's all I can think about for like that. You like the little fucking fox cat thing is texting you,
yeah, something weird.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's
like,
I thought it was
That's
silly,
super
and then
fucking Japanese. And
but then at
weird.
the end though, because like I played it more than once, and I kept thinking, I'm like, fuck, man, this boss is getting harder. And I could have sworn he was a lower level before, and then yeah, it turns out that was the case. Every time you played it, the final boss at the end of the demo was harder, and that kind of made it fun because you just keep replaying. Like you're playing as this little kid, and then he gets all like to his perfect version of himself, which is this badass looking adult.
See, I didn't get good vibes from it at all.
Yeah, me either. I didn't.
I think it would have made a really cool Studio Ghibli movie. Like
Oh, fuck yeah.
all the imagery in it was
Man, like,
really
they're
cool.
just like-
When you turn to that random giraffe. and
Oh well, yeah.
start
There's like
attacking
all
people.
the creatures you turn into, and I don't know. I thought it was neat, just like the dragon thing that fucking flew across the sky, and then like that giant that creeps
Yeah,
around the
the-
mountain that like looks
There
at
was
you.
tons of awesome visuals in it, but I found the gameplay and fighting the monsters with a squeaky sword
Oh,
or
yeah,
whatever.
that was really annoying.
It was stupid.
All right, I got a question for you since we're on the topic of video games. Have you guys heard about the new PlayStation stuff?
Like 4.5 or whatever.
Yeah, the PS4.
Yeah,
one.
some like it's like 4K basically.
Yeah, it'll do 4K output and have like upgraded GPU and CPU and RAM.
What's
But you-
4K output?
Okay, so you know how you have a 1080p television?
Okay, 4K's.
4K is 4 times the resolution of a 1080 television.
The math adds up.
It's there. Man.
And so basically you guys both, well, you guys got, or Greg did, got a PS4 like 4 months ago.
Yep, ish. I'll take.
And now that, I hate to break the news to you if you haven't heard it before, it's gonna be outdated in like a couple months.
What do you mean
Few
by
months.
outdated? Like new games won't work?
No, new games will work, but it won't be like when new PlayStations are sold. They'll be better with better internals and better shit.
Isn't that kind of the way it always goes on?
months.
But that's how it always goes when the fucking next one comes out. Like when you upgrade from a PS3 to a PS4, but that was like 8 years, not 4 months for Greg, or like for me, you know, since it first came out, it was like 3 years.
Have they been out that long?
Yeah, probably around then. I got mine. I want to say it was like three Christmases ago.
Jeez, man, that's dumb. Whatever. Fuck. All I use it for is playing Battlefront, and that's all I wanted. I wanted Battlefront.
Yeah, but
and
now with Battlefront, now it looks way better or runs better.
I'm not gonna be any better at it.
Yeah, I guess you're not wrong. I might feel the same way too. I just haven't had time to think about it.
They're gonna reach a point where you're gonna like these upgrades have to start being software based and optional because, yeah, you're right. It's gonna get to a point where guys like me are just gonna stop investing because.
You mean hardware based and optional?
No, it should be like if you want to upgrade it should be software because that way I don't have to go and buy a new system, but someone, if they choose to, can have a better system than me.
Well, they're just doing the same thing
No,
the
it doesn't
phones
really
have been
work like
doing,
that.
you know? Like the iPhone.
Well, it is like
and
it is.
iPhone
This
S,
is
you
exactly
know?
like it's like the S, the half step, right?
Yeah.
But it's still just weird because it's never happened before in games. Like I guess the N64 had the like upgraded RAM thing.
But haven't they always released a better version like of the Xbox and shit like that?
not with it would look better.
Does it have a waterfall?
Like it would be the slim, right? But it would have the same internals. This one has like upgraded, and it literally will run games at a better like everything than a regular one would. It's called like right now it's like the Neo is like the code name, and it's like has upgraded everything. So a Neo game, or like if you had a Neo system, every game would have 2 versions that it would be able to.
Is it
play.
the red and the blue?
Yeah, it's the red pill or the blue pill, and you know one of them is badass and the other one is less so. You know, so what might happen one day though is like say the next Fallout game comes out and it runs really well on the Neo, but if you have like one like you or I do, Greg, like what if it just doesn't run, barely runs? It kind of sucks ass.
I think my days of buying new generation consoles is damn near over.
Really?
Well, are you planning on dying sometime soon or something?
Yeah.
You just done with gaming?
Well, like I'm not. Yeah, I don't game enough to just keep investing in these consoles.
Fair enough.
For new Netflix boxes.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I guess.
And even then, I don't even know that Netflix is the way to go anymore. There's millions of options now.
Like
So who
illegally
knows?
downloading? Like it's usually been the option for everybody. Where you get everything?
It is known.
It is known.
I don't know.
Speaking of it is known.
Oh, we're getting into it, eh?
Yeah, why not, right?
What don't we know? We don't fucking
You
know anything.
Nothing,
Yeah, I know.
Greg Moser.
So right now, the biggest question that we don't know, like we're not, I don't even think we should. I don't even want to. The fucking thing we don't know right now is
Spoilers for Game of Thrones.
Spoiler.
I was gonna see how long. No, I was gonna see if we could just
about
like.
to do it. I know you were.
No, I wasn't gonna say a spoiler. I was gonna see how long we could go before we actually said we were talking about Game of Thrones.
What time mark are we at, Cody?
Well, we'll get into it and we'll take a break and then we'll really jump into it. So maybe we'll do no spoilers before the break. Then after the break, we'll just say fuck it.
All right. So I liked it. I thought it was good. I was a little disappointed, but I liked it.
I was a little disappointed too.
I was excited to be back into the moment, and I can tell the look in Greg's eyes, like he just wants to yell spoilers into the mic.
Spoilers. No, I don't know. You guys are disappointed. You guys are never happy. You know,
I'm happy.
Never. You're never happy. Like, there's only 10 fucking episodes, and you're already gonna be like, eh.
I'm not saying
like, fuck,
I
man.
didn't. I said I liked
It's
it.
like there's not enough episodes ever to be like, oh, that wasn't that good. It's like, no, there was 51 episodes, and they're all great.
Okay, so instead of asking me my opinion, you're just gonna
yeah, he's
cut
just
me
gonna
up.
tell you. He tells you your opinion's not right, Cody.
So my problem I had with it was that they seem to have rushed every scene because this is like the new introduction to what everyone's going to be doing for the rest of the season, right? I felt like they should have included less characters. It just gotten more into depth on on the fewer stories, you know?
I feel
'Cause everything
I
seems
don't-
super
I don't
rushed.
agree.
Like-
I get it, but it always feels rushed. Every episode feels like it always goes by super
Yeah,
quick.
I-
because
Okay.
There's so many characters.
See, here's why I think I'm suddenly feeling this is because I've read it now. Up to this point. And now that it doesn't seem like a highlight reel for me anymore. Like that's what watching it has been compared to reading the books. Almost like, a highlight reel of what's been going on, you know?
Okay, now
So
you really
now,
wanna
like,
know.
I'm looking to get this story told to me in like the same in-depth way, and it's just being rushed. Where George would have wrote for 50 pages on how Brienne
Boy,
tracked
George.
Theon and Sansa.
Like,
No, I hear you.
what,
I get that.
Or what did they have for breakfast?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, you tell you about that.
There
how
wasn't enough like
the
food.
beards were greasy and the chicken was dry.
But, it just felt kind of rushed. But I still enjoyed it for sure.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to be back. Greg, you got anything to say that isn't spoiler?
Man, I'm trying to think. Like, I can't. I'm trying to think of something I didn't like about it because there had been something. I don't know. Bran wasn't in it.
Like I felt like
Well,
the scene
yeah.
that Arya had was rushed and kind of unnecessary. Like something that was a little obvious.
Oh yeah, that one wasn't great.
For okay, the one thing I was thinking is like for a woman that has like a souped up killing machine in her back pocket, Cersei seemed like really just giving up on life.
Oh no, I think she's gonna be back and pissed.
She's gonna be pissed as fuck.
But I guess
Like
we'll
she was
we
just
can
like
get into
witches
that
said
with
it was
spoilers,
gonna be.
man.
Was like, oh yeah, is that spoilers?
You know what,
No,
boys?
we'll get into it right here and after this. We'll just
Let's just take an early break.
we'll take a break here and we'll come back with spoilers for Game of Thrones season 6 episode 1.
Did I spoil something though?
No, I was just saying we'll just have a better conversation.
No, I just really want to.
I want to now.
All right, we'll be back in a bit.
Awesome.
That
I'm going to
sounds
check
great.
that
I
out
mean-
later.
There's nothing about that I dislike.
Actually, I don't think she's listened to episode yet.
It's so good.
It's still scary,
It's-
right?
It makes me uncomfortable.
Scary as shit. New episodes every Tuesday. A B&D Network podcast. Scary as shit. We're not that scary.
All right, and we're back, and with spoilers for Game of Thrones.
Heavy spoilers.
So yeah, if you haven't listened, fuck off. All
To be
right.
honest, though, there nothing that crazy really fucking happened that we can spoil.
Well, I mean, that old Minge.
That old Minge.
Yeah, I know. It's like everybody just wants to see, some boobies, and they were like, "Oh, you want to see some boobs, do you? Well, here you go." And gotcha.
Well, it started with
some
nice
seg.
boobies and then faded to.
I thought it was kind of cool how they filmed it, though. It was eerie.
Yeah, it was cool. And I was watching it with my girlfriend, and like right as that was about to happen, I was like, "Oh, she's gonna be old as fuck. She's gonna be old as fuck." She's like, "Your commentary's ruining this shit. You know from the books." I was like, "I don't know shit. I'm just guessing." And then she was old.
So
as
is
fuck.
that going to be part of the title? Old Minge versus something? Is that clickbait?
Old Minge versus
That's
old PS4.
vulgar.
Oh, sorry. Because we never got vulgar on this show.
Now, the one thing I thought was really great though was what are the people that are live down south? The Dornish people.
Yeah.
When that fucking
That was a pretty
That
big
was
deal.
cool. Yeah,
The
that
kid-
was big spoilers.
the kid getting fucking stabbed in the face. Oh, and I guess
in the back of the head.
his dad
Yeah,
dying.
that was pretty intense.
No, I saw that coming. It's like would that be like if I showed up and I was like the two of you were like you get to pick one of us to kill, and I chose Cody, and then immediately turned my back to Kyle. It's just like, well, that's fucking dumb. Even
No, that
the
is a bad
second I
call.
turned my back, I'm thinking to myself, if I was Kyle, I'd stab me in the back of the head right now.
I wouldn't do it to you, Greg.
Well, thank you, but just so we're clear, if Cody and I came in and we told you you had to pick one of us, and you chose Cody, and you turned your back to me,
You'd fuck me up.
well, we weren't friends in this scenario.
Okay, well, I get you.
Something I'm really pissed off about is fucking Daenerys having to go
She-
to the fucking Vase Dothrak or whatever.
Yeah, she wasn't looking too good.
Oh yeah, that was. I
That's
don't know.
fucking ridiculous. Man, she's been fucking walking in circles for five
her
bucks,
storyline kinda
6
goes
seasons.
Yeah,
something.
it was like really fucking step backwards.
Man,
then it
everything
was-
she does is one step forward, 2 steps back.
They burnt all her boats, and they're like, "Well, we're not going to war anytime soon."
Yeah, that
They
was,
burned all the
that's what-
fucking boats.
I'm
Her
getting a little
storyline's-
sick of that.
Yeah,
Right?
her storyline's been dragged on.
So she has no
bad.
army, no boats. The town has no queen. She has no anything. Though she's basically like the Dothraki, though, at least have a code, which is just like no raping your
Well,
bros'
yeah.
hoes.
Well, at least we'll know she's respected by them. So maybe she might get some insane Dothraki army.
Maybe
He's not that
Who
respected,
knows?
though. The guy was just like,
He's
I'm not gonna...
respected enough to not get raped, I guess.
Yeah, that was it. It was just like no raping bros' hoes. That's it. That's the Dothraki code.
That is pretty much the code. But yeah, I always figured it would kind of get to a point where we were gonna get at least like a whole season of like her invading Westeros and like doing a bunch of cool shit there. But at this point, they're running out of fucking time. Like if it's all season before she even starts heading towards Westeros,
It'll be
then
rushed.
it's like then there's not gonna be a whole lot of that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because
Did-
they've said that the next 2 seasons are short seasons, like only 6 episodes each or something.
I've
Fuck,
heard
there's only
about
10
that.
episodes a season, boys. Grow up.
I heard they might be making the episodes longer though.
That'd be all right.
Yeah.
In the last season, did Jorah touch Daenerys?
In the last one,
Yeah.
since he's been all stone fleshy.
Yeah, like they're in the
No.
arena and everyone's getting attacked. Yeah, and then he's up on something and like puts his hand down and helps Daenerys get up on something, and they like kind of show it. I'm
I don't
wondering if that
remember
was
that.
supposed to be a thing or if that was just like something that wasn't supposed to be a thing.
I don't think that that's a thing, but that's just me.
Even I'm wondering though, even if it was a thing, do you think Daenerys can even get sick?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Everybody seems to be able to get sick.
But Daenerys, I don't know. She can't be burnt and stuff. I don't know. Do you think she's like?
Well,
Can the Millennium Falcon ever crash? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I was wondering
Exactly.
that, but
yeah, she's just going in circles. That's pissing me off. And like, I'm wondering what the hell Tyrion's gonna do. That could be half exciting.
I actually think Tyrion's shit could be kind of exciting. I'm fine with just watching Tyrion like rule Marine. Like that seems cool to me. He wasn't going to be king or anything. He's already fucked up a bunch of people. So
man, that would be a
I'm cool
crazy
with that.
twist if Daenerys doesn't actually get her army. She just gets the dragons, but Tyrion ends up being fucking king of the East or whatever the hell. There's a lot of people over there.
What do you
Well,
think?
he's pretty much that now. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
he doesn't
he's-
have the title, but he's going to be ruling. Like him and Barry's.
I don't
seemingly are
understand how
gonna
the
rule
politics
that
on that side of the world works, because it seems like there's a king in every city, and then there's also like the Dothraki that seem to have their own fucking thing. So it's like if I was a king of my own castle, and you guys each had your own kings, you guys are kings in your own fucking castles, but then all of a sudden, all the land in between us is fucking Dothraki
Well, I
land.
place.
think-
Okay, well, yeah.
I think
that's
the way you
pretty
have to
much-
look at it is that Westeros is North America, but picture North America just being one country, like of Canada,
I
US
guess,
combined, and then Essos, is that what it's called? The other side, I think it's Essos.
It's like the freelands.
Yeah,
or something
it's
like
basically
that, right?
just the rest of the world.
Yeah, and
Well,
there's
I'm just
no
like-
kings there. There's just
Yeah,
like
like-
lords and towns and cities, and those cities occasionally just get completely wiped out by the Dothraki. They don't pay.
Well,
Like,
it's just
to
how
not
many
be.
cities did fucking Daenerys become queen of? Wasn't it more than one over there?
well,
didn't-
she was like, she ruled the like
Well,
Dothraki.
she moved
thing
around
for a
like
bit.
Slaver's Bay or whatever.
And then yeah, she was in that city that she fucked up when
Yonkai
she
or whatever?
Yeah, when she got her like army, and like where she had what was the city was where the Zoros on Doxos or whatever that Duxos guy.
Oh yeah, that was like
And
the
she
greatest
fucked that guy
city.
up and then got her dragons and I don't know.
So
She's
yeah,
been
there's
all over the place. It's been
so
too
no,
much at this point.
but I thought though that they were like each of those towns had their own hierarchy, and she took over those towns and then left. I don't know. I'm kind of confused at her whole plot. It just seems like she's doing and not doing what it takes every other character in the storyline to accomplish.
well, I mean, I get her motivation is like, oh, I want to be prepared for when I rule Westeros, but it's just boring at this point because I really don't give a fuck
Like,
about Marine.
yeah, her
Let 'em
plot
just be
lines
fucked.
always they just keep falsely climaxing. Like, we keep she's building this great army with like even from the beginning, but the Dothraki in the beginning, we thought that was going to result
Yeah,
in
really,
something.
the
Yeah, and
Dothraki
it
would have been
doesn't.
enough. Then she got the Unsullied. That apparently wasn't.
and they're all
enough.
just dying off.
Yeah. Just having an army and they
Yeah,
it's
it's
anticlimactic.
we're all so invested in this universe, but
But it's still so
it's
separated. yeah.
fucking with us, you know. It's really letting us down.
All right, well, fucking let's move somewhere colder. Or do you guys want to talk? Yeah, fuck it. Jon Snow.
Jon Snow.
Yeah, we're doing spoilers, so we can talk about John. He didn't come back to life.
You think old fucking Minge there is going to bring him back to
Okay,
life?
so I was reading in that it seems suggestive that man, I almost just got a crazy Charlie horse. That fucking sucked. My leg just started curling up.
New studio, Charlie Horse.
Yeah, fuck. That's not what you want on a podcast. Me just cringing for fucking 10 minutes. But no, because they were suggesting that, and I guess it kind of appears that way, that when she takes the necklace off, that's what makes her go.
Yeah,
young.
that's what makes her stay young.
You know,
yeah.
and then somebody brought up that there's another episode where she's talking to fucking who's the king there that just died? Fucking Brienne.
Joffrey?
No, Brienne killed her.
oh,
Killed him.
Stannis.
What's Stannis' wife?
I can't remember.
Yeah, whatever.
name,
Her.
but whatever.
Her
Stannis' wife.
crazy old woman.
Is she hung herself?
Yeah, but she's talking to Melisandre, and Melisandre's in the bathtub naked, tits floating in the water there, and she doesn't have the necklace on, and she's not young. I mean, she's not old. But then I was reading other people arguing that she was a devout follower of this thing, and so she the whole time can see this woman's original form, and if you apparently rewatch it, you can see her not, like wanting to look away but not being able to look away.
Did George Martin or did the
So I know
HBO
exactly,
make
right?
this claim, or is this fans just
No,
like,
well,
trying
that's
to come up
fans
with shit?
speculating. But anyway, there's scenes, and they're like, it could just be continuity. But then what I'm suggesting is that if it's either the necklace or not, I mean, it could or could not be. If it is the necklace, that they've already fucked up because there's scenes where she's not wearing the necklace, or they have a lot more to explain. But also, as she's putting the necklace down, they're also just highlighting a bunch of fucking bottles and potions on the table. I mean, it wouldn't be hard to suggest it. Whether or not it's the necklace. Do you guys even hear about this whole necklace thing?
I'd never heard about it.
I
until now.
watched it.
I know,
Oh, yeah,
yeah, right.
yeah.
But I mean, you didn't read about anyone
No.
else because I didn't think anything of it at all. I was like, oh, the necklace. But then people pointed out there was at least one episode where she's naked and she doesn't have the necklace on. So that just is either a continuity error or they have more to explain.
could.
I'm thinking continuity error.
That could
Yeah.
be that. I also could it be that this seemed like that whole scene was like her giving up. Like she was like heading back to bed to sleep, being old, kind of like it was almost like a renounce your faith kind of moment. It seemed like it was like her moment of,
Well,
clarity for
like the necklace
I fucked up.
Well,
had nothing to
definitely,
do with
but-
anything, or no?
Well, I don't know. Maybe removing the necklace and also giving up and not believing as much. That's what makes her. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know the fucking rules.
One
Magic
of
there.
the things they were suggesting though is why would she become old? Is this something she does every night before bed, or is this something to do with bringing back Jon Snow? So all I can think of is maybe it has nothing to do with the necklace, but it just costs her a lot of energy or mana points, if you will,
I
to
really just
fucking
think
maintain
it-
it appearing young. So if she's going to bring back Jon Snow, she needs all of her mana. So she's going to drop her fucking cloaking spell, take a nap, recharge, wake up an old woman, fucking revive Jon Snow. And it has nothing to do with the
That's
necklace.
Maybe
that's a
that's
theory
a-
right
that's a
there.
theory.
I like that.
Right?
I don't
Because
hate
everyone's
that,
getting caught up with the necklace, and it's like the necklace might be a red herring. Well, that's a fish.
Red herring.
Or is it a bird?
A heron's a bird.
A heron? Is it a red heron?
Yeah, I believe so.
No, do
don't
people say
even
red
know.
herring or red heron?
I
Fucking
think it's
no,
herring.
dude.
How would George Martin cook a red herring?
With prunes and duck.
He'd
and-
let it age.
Yeah, so I don't
sauce.
know, man. Melisandre?
Yeah.
I kind of really liked Sir Davos there being all...
Oh, he's one of my favorite
Mouthy
characters,
with
and
the
I like
fucking
his
Alistair.
like "fuck you, I don't give a shit" kind of.
What does he say? I need mutton?
Yeah, mutton. I need mutton.
I can't hunt.
I'm gonna get hungry on the road. I need mutton.
That just sounded like this negotiation's not going anywhere, but I still want everything I could possibly get out of this negotiation.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite characters and has been for a long time. But I always found it funny, like this. Obviously, in the last season, Jon dies, and
Spoiler.
all in between last season and this season, everyone was fucking sure, seemingly they talked to, they're gonna bring Jon back, like he's gonna come back to life. This why the Red Lady's there, or like Bran, or any of these reasons. But we've seen fucking everybody die in this show, and no one was like, "Oh, next time we're gonna have fucking nearly headless Ned." Fucking come and
I don't know,
save the
man.
day. Like,
I was so convinced, because remember there was the huge conspiracy that there were like all
He
these.
was a Targaryen. And
Well, no, but there were comments
Ned?
though that
no.
there was
Jon
this.
is-
They kept saying there was like this one character that they remarked, "Oh, he looked a lot like Ned Stark, or they resembled each other, or something." And
well, that's
everyone
in
was
the
hoping.
books.
Yeah, I know, and everyone was hoping that there was a body switch.
Oh yeah, well yeah, no, I think I've heard this, and it's like it's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. In the books, they make a bigger point about pointing out who looks like who, especially in the Stark family. Like Arya and Jon look like Ned,
Yeah.
and everyone else looks like Catelyn. They have different hair colors
yeah.
and stuff. And then hair color obviously comes into a big point later on with like fucking Targaryen.
Just
nonsense
thinking of
and
all those memes with Ned like being a super detective.
Yeah. This color doesn't look like this color. but no, anyway, like, yeah. And then talking about the way that Ned's described when Arya sees him, she describes him as barely looking like her father, like almost unrecognizable. But he was like in a fucking
No, I know, but
dungeon forever. And
But also, I was just trying to argue your point. People would thought, that Ned was going to come back. But they brought back, what's his name there? The guy that the Hound kills.
Beric, whatever.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't say his name. I don't know how to. They're all complicated names.
See, my whole grand theory of where this story was going was leading towards Jon Snow and Daenerys.
Yeah,
Ruling
like being the
Westeros,
heroes or whatever.
The
yeah.
heroes of Westeros.
And the
But
Targaryens.
it's so possible that George is like, no, fuck Jon Snow. His time,
Yeah, no,
his time
he's
is done.
killed everybody
But I think
else,
the
like-
fact that he let the wildlings in is his
Huge.
biggest role.
Yeah, like he dies a hero just like his dad did.
because they're gonna become a big part of this when winter
Yeah.
comes.
Well, in theory and on paper, the Night's Watch is an amazing concept. Even in this universe, but in practice, they're all criminals, thieves, and rapists and fucking degenerates. Like they're not.
They're no better.
They're
than
fucking terrible group of
wildlings.
people. Yeah, like they're no better than wildlings. And for a huge reform, shake up to happen, for them to keep their common goal, which is to maintain the wall, not to keep wildlings out, but to keep maybe White Walkers out. That seems like a fucking way
as
better
cheesy
idea.
as this might sound, the whole wildling wall situation
I know.
is really similar to like the Syrian refugees like we're going through right
Man,
now.
I'd be.
you know?
I'm right. You'd let the. Yeah.
Just like how we are not comfortable with letting these people come safely into our country just because of a few motherfuckers that ruined it for all of them.
That's a tale as old as time. Fear what you don't know is like it's. I mean, yeah, we're experiencing now, like because of the Syrian thing, but that's not like. I mean, you could have wrote that at any point in time. Any generation would experience that in some way.
I don't think there's ever been a time, like you can't name one scenario where race has been a huge factor in a thing.
Definitely.
Anyway, this is not Game of Thrones talk. Yeah. So Jon Snow, I think he's gonna come back still. I'm still rooting for him. Melisandre's whipping something up. She's got some sort of like cocktail going on. It's gonna happen.
I don't know if she does. I think she's not doing. She might not do shit.
Well,
I hope
she
she
just
does.
like you're right though. It would be hilarious if it was just guys, I'm done.
I
It'd
hope
be hilarious.
I
I'd be
hope this
pissed.
ends with a fucking asteroid hitting the planet.
well,
No,
okay,
comet
everyone
comes and kills
dies.
No,
everyone.
okay, but everything's always usually dark and dreary in the Game of Thrones universe. But speaking of Brienne, she had a pretty positive episode. Like, how much time could possibly have happened between Sansa putting the candle in the window that she didn't see, right? So, like, the big war that happened, and then her stumbling upon Sansa.
That was bullshit. I did not like
No,
this.
but I
Okay,
mean,
there's a lot
I-
of stumble upon shit.
I
Yeah,
know,
I know.
man. I hate that
She,
shit
like-
just in the nick of time
she
bullshit.
completed all her main quests in like one trip, and I don't mean like one outing. Like
That's hard to pull off.
She tripped
man.
and
She had a
fell, and
waypoint. It was
yeah,
fun.
and like it was just like shit. Well,
Yeah, the whole stumble upon Stannis thing last season was dumb. I didn't like that. And then this, and then the fucking ring in the woods or the ring in the grass field thing was
Yeah,
ridiculous.
she's
That was-
so lucky,
I get that
man.
there was like the whole circle, and then like, all right, I get that, but to find that fucking trampling circle in the first place.
well, I
seemed
thought she
ridiculous.
dropped that ring. We're talking about Daenerys.
Yeah,
I thought Daenerys dropped the ring so that everyone wouldn't know
she was married again.
married to Khal Drogo, because I thought that was like a moon and a star or some shit.
No,
like that.
I think it was to symbolize that she wasn't married again, like to somebody else. Like,
Oh well, no. Now I'm thinking it was meant so that fucking she was really hoping that Ser Jorah was gonna find it.
well, no, it definitely does seem like that, but it's still bullshit.
I
They
thought it
find
was like a rape
How
thing.
can everyone in this show find anything anywhere whenever they need to, and I can't find the charger for my iPad? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
No.
See, when people write that shit into stories, it's just the easy way out, you know?
Yeah, and I get it. There's a bunch of other just easy plot device kind of shit in this, you know, the MacGuffin kind of solution to things, but that won't fuck me.
MacGuffin.
Yeah, what
That's
the
what-
fuck? What does MacGuffin mean?
Well, actually, sorry, there was actually no MacGuffin, I guess, necessarily in this, but a MacGuffin would be like when in a plot they introduced some sort of item or special thing that no one knew about that's suddenly going to solve all the problems in the plot. Like, you've seen Harry Potter?
Yes.
Most of them?
All of them.
You know the one with the time turner?
Yes.
That is a MacGuffin.
Okay.
All the problems happen, and then suddenly the MacGuffin fixes all of it.
I got you.
It's the easy way out.
Yeah, like
It's
for
the
a
wizard.
writer, it's this thing that you didn't know about as the reader, because how the fuck could you? Because I never mentioned it before. Solves all the problems. You know?
Yeah, those are always
Use
shit.
your imagination.
Yeah. Well, no, it's the writer not using his imagination, really, I guess. But
It looked like there was more effort going into the word MacGuffin than fucking
Do you have any idea why it's called MacGuffin?
no fucking idea.
some bad writer
I
who people
honestly
really
could
like.
have just completely botched the description of a MacGuffin, but I'm pretty sure I nailed it.
I think you're right, and I'm gonna say it's like a writer. I'm gonna make it up right now. It's a writer named MacGuffin. MacGuffin.
Not MacGuffin.
A writer.
MacGuffin.
Yeah, MacGuffin. And nobody
Pine
liked.
dog.
All the writers hated him, but fans really liked him, and he was a bad writer. And so all his peers and coworkers were just like, "Fucking MacGuffin."
Oh, it's Dan Brown.
Fucking
Yeah,
MacGuffin.
he's like Dan Brown.
Everybody else hated him.
So Sansa, I don't know. Her
That
character's
whole thing was
dumb.
weird too.
Yeah.
Like,
She didn't want to go. She
that was a sage
no. Hold on.
moment.
Let's back up 2 seconds here. I'm gonna pose to you. This is 2 versus 3. Let's do some little verses, okay? I got a versus scenario for you. Jumping off of a fucking, like, I don't know. We'll say 30 feet wall. We'll say a 30-foot wall.
That's being pretty generous.
That
looks
is
like a
being
lot taller wall.
generous. But jumping off a 30-foot wall or wading through a fucking creek.
They like even if they do get saved by Brienne, they're gonna die. Like they're gonna be sick and they're gonna die.
No,
they don't have medicine to come back from that
She
shit.
didn't want to wade. No, she didn't want to wade through the creek. She would
Stark
jump
blood.
off the fucking wall.
Stark blood.
Yeah, no, she's fine. They're not gonna get sick. She jumped off the fucking wall, but she was, oh, I can't go through the fucking river. It's cold. No, who would? I would. I would be fucking
Natural
swimming
elements
naked.
and like regular
If
illnesses don't affect people in this. Like, hey, do you think you could get your dick lopped off and just survive without fucking antibiotics or any sort of seemingly cleanliness? Will you just shit yourself tied to a pike or like a fucking X thing that Theon was tied to? Probably not.
Didn't that seem a little forced when Tyrion pointed out that Varys was a eunuch?
No, he
No,
doesn't.
I like that.
Yeah.
I did.
I like that. I thought that was just Tyrion being a real
Yeah,
prick.
he always makes fun of him for not having any
He's
balls.
being-
Yeah, like it just
Just
was
being a
just
real
like
dick.
out of nowhere. It was just like, oh yeah, remember the time you got your dick cut off?
He
Yeah,
doesn't.
it was great.
He takes him down a notch. and
Yeah,
that's-
it was
that's
really
their whole
humanizing.
relationship.
Yeah, it was weird. Like I was thinking, like at first, it was like, is that a writing tool? Like, did the writers need to let the audience know that this guy has no dick, and like they wanted to remind them? Because I feel like we know.
No, I think
Yeah,
it was
it
just
was
banter.
Was that just? Yeah, it was
That's
just
just
weird.
regular Tyrion making fun of somebody.
Yeah.
I would like to say, Varys is one of my favorite characters in that
No,
show.
he's great.
Like, I really like that guy. I liked him a lot more when he had more of a role and everything. And I'm pretty interested to see how it works out. Him stuck with Tyrion.
Well,
It's a
you
good
know,
team
he's
up.
not stuck with Tyrion though. Think about it. He had a big role, and he could have done whatever he wanted.
He slips and he slides.
He's-
all
yeah,
around.
if
but
he's-
he's putting his weight behind Tyrion. you know,
Exactly though, but
obviously.
if that's wherever Varys is where the story is going to be moving, because
Yeah,
right?
that's smart.
Do you know what I mean?
Unless
Like-
unless it's also simultaneously moving towards Baelish and like Littlefinger.
No, but that's fair though, because the two of them though,
That is the two,
little puppet
the
masters.
kingmakers.
See, I feel like they want us to think that.
They
Where meanwhile, like
It's that old lady.
everything they're doing it just might be bullshit.
No, but I think really when it comes to especially Littlefinger, that motherfucker is where the plot's going. He's got a whole army that no one ever talks about at this point that swings all the previously decided wars. It's like who has the Knights of the sorry, Cody, what's the Veil? And like that guy has that now. And everybody needs to come to him to swing a fucking fight.
I can see what Kyle's or Cody's saying though, because this whole time he's also like got short man syndrome. You know, he's got like, I never got the girl, and as far as he's concerned, just fucking over the whole Tully family was
Yeah,
like
he-
his
he-
main agenda.
I don't know. It's sabotage.
Yeah, like
Nah,
he's trying to. He's like Lex Luthor. He could save the whole world, but he really just wants to fuck over Superman. You know,
Yeah.
and it's like he could
He's
have.
already done that. He's fucked everybody he wanted to fuck.
He
Now
could
he's gonna
be-
king.
like, yeah,
Or,
he-
at least
he
the
could-
second in command.
He could be king, or he's gonna.
If I had to put my money on somebody, I'd put it on that.
Well,
guy.
apparently Sansa is the hot commodity. You know, he lost Sansa.
No, he gave Sansa away for
Sansa's
power.
basically the right to the north, so
yeah, but
everyone
he
wants
could have
her.
had that.
No,
Sansa
he
was
did. What he
right
did-
ready.
What he did was a strategic move.
No.
Obviously, that dude doesn't make fucking
He
a lot
was-
of mistakes.
He was right. She was right ready to let him dip his pen in her ink.
That's
We'll
not his
sign a
move,
deed
man.
to
That's not
fucking
his move.
Winterfell.
You
But
never
he
see him
could've.
just like blinded by dick power. That guy's thinking above it. And
Yeah,
he's
he
gonna
can
do
just get
some decent
whores.
shit. Yeah, and the only person he ever wanted is dead, so he's all right. He'll do something crazy.
Yeah, it's
The
so
other-
weird. She was
Alright.
like they weren't attractive.
Who?
Oh, Callum?
Yeah, it's weird. Like he was all for the older woman.
Yeah, she might have been hot
Well,
back
no,
in the
but she
day,
was
though.
like they knew each other when they were children.
So
I'm not saying children are attractive. That's not but they knew each other when they were children. You know, it was like the girl
I don't
next
know.
door thing. But I don't know. Next episode, let's take a stab at what do you think's gonna happen.
We need to see Bran.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Well, that split second scene they showed in the trailer for the season where Bran is beside the Night's King. Is that what they call him?
Oh, the like old dude and
The blue guy.
Is he a
no,
tree?
no,
No, not that guy.
I'm talking about like
the king of the White Walkers.
yeah, the King of the White Walkers.
Yeah, I don't know his name.
Like
exactly,
the
but
like
That'll probably end up being a fucking vision or something.
probably
One of Bran's
That's how everything
dreams.
works with Bran, but yeah, I could.
because he is standing up in the scene.
Yeah,
So
so that's usually a trigger.
Magic.
that he is using magic,
or
yeah.
being
or,
He
or
wasn't-
that it is a vision.
He
Green
wasn't in the
sight
whole
or whatever
last
they call
season
it.
though, was he? Wasn't he?
No, not at all. He wasn't in last season.
Yeah. That's a fucking perfect amount of time for someone to learn to walk with magic.
Season before ended with him getting to where he was heading, and the guy he was with dying, and then fighting the skeletons.
Yeah, I
And
guess so.
The crow saying like, he asked, I say
Nevermore.
crow, but like the crow in his mind, the three-eyed crow guy, who was like, I assume an analogy for the dude in the tree, says he asked him like, will I walk? And he's like, no, but you'll fly, or something like that.
I think that means he'll be a dragon, or he'll
Could be,
or
but
he'll control
he
dragons.
can literally be anything. So, I mean, he could do.
I
Whatever.
think he's one of the three heads of the dragon.
Okay, well, hold up though, because he controlled Hodor, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, can he control all humans, or is that just because Hodor's simple or a giant?
I think it's the idea that he can do it easily and untrained to Hodor because he's simple.
But
And he's
if
not supposed to ever do it to humans, but he's also like the chosen one. So he can
No,
do
okay,
whatever the
so
fuck he
all right,
wants.
but now is it kind of accepted that there's like a handful of these White Walker King people that are controlling, like they're like the necromancers controlling the hordes?
That does kind of seem like that, yeah.
So perhaps if Bran were to take control of one of these people, that Bran could control the White Walking hordes.
Maybe. Not a terrible guess. Cody, you got
Because you got to think of like you got to think of how the less can overpower the many, right? You got to like how is it that like because they've already pointed out they've
Well,
got
not
no
necessar-
weapons or anything. Like how can they just what's their nuke?
Well, like so you're saying control the horde. So I'm saying control the leader.
But the leader controls the hordes,
So yeah, exactly.
right?
Control the leader.
Yeah, so like he takes over one fucking king. You know, they only need 5 Valyrian steel swords to kill 5 of the fucking guys, and that 6th person Bran can take over and stop the war or something. Right? Like, what's the quick out of this?
I don't know.
Everyone dies, and
Yeah,
the White
that's good about
Walkers,
the show.
the White Walkers, winner forever. That's the easy ending.
Winner
Oh,
forever.
it's the it
Apocalypse.
actually ends depressed.
Yeah,
this
like
whole
that's
series,
like
dude.
the easiest ending, right? Because everything else is
I would
like
kind of like that.
no, but really, like what's
What?
Everyone just dies.
what's the
Oh, I
most
always like
logical
that
ending?
ending.
Like there isn't one. How
Well, I thought it was Jon and Daenerys
doing what though?
just ruling happily.
They got a
ever
dragon,
after.
right?
Yeah,
They
why
got a
would
dragon.
that ever be the fucking ending to
I
this
don't-
sad show?
What does one dragon do?
She has 3 dragons.
Yeah, but they got fucking little bitch dragons. Look, okay, you're gonna bring those 3 to war. Okay, cool. 2 die, and 1 fucking takes out a
we've already
bunch.
seen that they're like kind of easily fucked up.
I think they'll get bigger.
Yeah, I get that.
Right? I don't know. It's just.
But still,
I mean, yeah, like in an arena, a bunch of fucking vigilante, like a rebellion party, stomped a dragon. You know, they were just like
is that the
chucking.
ending you really want though? She like
Yeah,
she
yeah,
just
like,
flies in a
with the
dragon,
dragon,
saves
and
the
it's
fucking
just
day.
like it's like the end of the Matrix 1 where Neo just flies off.
No, I want to see I wanted to see Jon fighting the War of All Wars with whatever ended up happening in Westeros.
like Lord of the Rings style.
Like the big fucking war is happening with the White Walkers, and everyone's kind of got together to fight them because they realized that why are we fighting each other when this is happening, you know?
No, but that okay.
But then I want to see them not being able to succeed, and then Daenerys on her dragons and
Burns
her
everything.
Dothraki on their horses just march in, like Gandalf with the fucking shit.
sun behind them?
Yeah, with the sun behind them.
But every time John,
It's just a good wrap up ending to a
but
story.
we've already
you know?
established though in the
Yeah.
last season that when John led a pretty decent like rebellion against not a rebellion like a resistance against the White Walkers,
That was
they-
just a skirmish.
they all just okay fine.
Yeah,
he
but
led like a
but he still
skirmish,
gets fucked up at
right?
this point, I think.
But no, but they still every fucking person that died, human or not,
Turns back.
just
in.
gets back up. So I mean,
How do you beat that?
yeah, like if you were the 3 corners of the world.
But you burn them.
And
That's the
no,
idea of the
you're right.
dragon.
They burn them.
Yes.
So what? You fucking John and his 9 Valyrian blades now are leading a front, and Daenerys is sweeping back and forth, cleaning up the dead bodies. Like what?
No, but if you think about it, like dragons just burning mass
Mass
hordes
burning,
of
yeah.
fucking these White Walkers.
Well, that's the
the
thing.
wall
Like,
holding
oh,
them up as
and
much
I don't
as
know.
possible, like fighting behind the like.
Does
Maybe I don't know.
what's
Wildfire.
I was gonna say wildfire. Like, does that work?
Yeah, any fire works for the regular ones, and then the Valyrian steel works for all of them too. But I don't know if fire works on the other, like the kings and princes kind of thing. I don't know.
This is
Obviously,
a beautiful
no one fucking
universe.
knows.
Like, I'm invested.
Well, something I want to ask you guys, because it's obviously kind of controversial with me, is they're at the point now where they're surpassing what the books have written. I haven't read any of the leaked chapters of the newest book, but so it's kind of bugging me, like just not
leaked?
getting the original content through the book, and
You just want
now getting it.
George R. R. Martin's writing, not anyone else's.
Well, yeah. Well, like I'm down with watching the show, but I don't want to watch it first. I want to read it first.
We talked about this a bit last week, where you were saying it was like content or creators over content kind of thing.
Yeah. See, I want George's vision.
Someone posed this to me a long time ago, like when the first season of Game of Thrones came out, and there were 4 books ahead of me, and I hadn't read it. I've only read the first book, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna try to read them all before the show comes out. And someone was just like, why bother? Because then he explained that he was like, oh, George Martin's probably gonna die before the show finishes. And he goes, you're just gonna be angry.
He must be so depressed.
Or he goes, or worse, you're gonna read all the books and you're gonna watch the show and hate the show. Why not watch the show and then read the books? There's no way it's gonna be ruined for you.
Yeah, that was probably me that said that.
And it's like, in hindsight, yeah, man, like, you're describing the scenario perfectly. Like, for me, the show can't be ruined because I've got nothing to compare it to.
Yeah.
It's actually the best show on television.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Greg on this. Watching the show, I've done both. I'd watched read the books ahead of certain seasons, right, and then been up on what was going on then, and then watched the show and been like, well, the books are better. And then I stopped reading. Right, it was about the 4th book, and I just watched and didn't know, and I was surprised by the things that happened, and I didn't know it was gonna. And I got to enjoy the show with everybody else that's enjoying the show. And afterwards, I'll just get to read all the fucking books, and I'll get to go, oh, they were better. So they're both good that way, instead of just one being good.
Yeah, but see, these new ones, I'm so scared that, because I have a feeling the newest book will not be out before the season's over. There's been no.
Did you
no,
not hear he
official-
said that there was going to be enough content, or I don't know what the right term is, but
Well, what I'm going to say is that this newest book, when that does come out, is that going to tell extra stuff that the show hasn't gone on to yet?
Yeah,
Well,
I
that's
think
what he
it'll- I
said.
think-
It's
yeah,
going to be long as fuck.
Yeah, it's totally going to be. And I think it's totally going to cover a bunch of shit they didn't cover in the show. The show's going to take liberties with whatever the fuck they want. George R. R. Martin's going to change
I
it.
think
See,
this is a
if they
breaking
completely branch at this point, I'm going to be pissed.
Why? Well, because then
I
now
don't
you
want
just
them to
go back-
fucking Walking Dead it.
But why?
Because they've been
Now
really good to this point. That's why.
But okay, yeah, they've been pretty good. There's obviously been differences.
Because
You-
they're gonna
I've-
fucking ruin either one of them for me.
Why can't you enjoy both? Then you can rewatch the show,
So
not knowing
why
what
do I have
happens.
to watch an Earth 1 and Earth 2 for fucking every story I like?
But you get 2 stories then.
That's bullshit. I don't need 2 stories. Because obviously one's gonna be better than the other.
And when it's done, you'll just
You
then
know?
don't read the fucking books and enjoy the show.
Man,
Fuck
the
that
struggle is real. The problems are not.
It is a good motto.
Yeah. Anyways, this has been episode 13.
Yeah, we're ending it here. Yeah, so I guess episode 13 of 2 versus 3.
John's still dead.
You can follow us on Facebook facebook.com/2 versus 3. Follow us on Twitter at 2 versus 3. And check out bmoviesandebooks.com as well as all of their other great podcasts like Long Box Small Talk, Toxic City, Scary as Shit, and B&E Pod. You can check me out on Twitter at Kyle R. Hodge.
Greg Moser 420 maybe.
Still doesn't
I'll
know.
find you.
I think you're Greg _Moser 420.
I thought it was Greg Moser _
I'm Cody Jiminy Yo, but there's like 4 eyes in that.
So it might be
and
hard
we'll
to
find
follow.
you.
Anyway, so that's been episode 13. Thanks for listening. I'm Kyle.
I'm Greg.
And I'm Cody. Have a good night, everybody.
The podcast you just heard is part of the B&E Network, brought to you by bmoviesandebooks.com.